Hello friends, welcome to Tech AI. Today's video is about how to create quiz videos for kids like this, in which a question text appears from a side and a decent AI voiceover, after which an option box with a pop sound effect, and then a timer appears from the left, and the timer moves down as the time runs, and then the color of the correct option change with a pop-up. How many fingers are in a hand? So, if you want to learn how to create these types of videos, then continue to the video. Let me introduce a related channel, Islam Quiz. This channel is getting thousands to millions of views and almost 60,000 subscribers. Let's have a look on his videos.
Number 1. What should you say before you start anything? Bismillah.
So give potential to this niche. So first, let's discuss which software are needed. Number 1 is Adobe Photoshop and the second is Adobe Premiere Pro. By using Adobe Photoshop, we have to create these stuff: a green background, a timer lane, and a timer object. Let's start with Adobe Photoshop. Open Adobe Photoshop. Click Create and select Pixels. Put the dimensions: width, 2342 pixels, and height, 1080 pixels. Click Rectangle tool and then click anywhere on the frame. Give these dimensions: width, 2342 pixels, and height, 1080 pixels. Align this rectangle to the center by using Move tool. Double-click on the layer's square and give this color code given in the description. Click on Rectangle tool and then on the screen, width, 120 pixels, and height, 900 pixels. Give border radius 60 pixels to all 4 edges. And then align the second rectangle in the right, just like this. Double-click on second rectangle layer's square and make its color white. Double-click on second rectangle layer and select Drop Shadow Effect. Now select Ellipse tool and click anywhere on the screen. Width and height, both 100 pixels. Now align the ellipse at the top of second rectangle. Double-click on the square of the layer and make its color green as the background. Now double-click on the ellipse layer and give it a stroke of 1 pixel solid black. Now hide all layers except rectangle 1 and save it with the name background as a JPEG file. Now hide all layers except rectangle 2 and save it with the name timer lane as a PNG file. Now hide all except ellipse layer and save with the name timer object as a PNG file. Now close Adobe Photoshop and we are almost done with Photoshop. Open Adobe Premiere Pro. Click on Create. Create. Let's create a new sequence. Click Settings. Choose 30 frames per second. Then choose widescreen frame ratio. Check these boxes and click OK. Let's animate the question text. Double-click on Project Window and import background, created in Photoshop. Now drag green background on the timeline. Make the timeline view close and expand the background layer. Now click on Text tool and type your question on the screen. Ignore the spellings. Select the text and click on Effect Controls. Now expand the text controls and align the text correctly. Make it bold and must use Tahoma font. Scroll down and check Shadow Box. Now use Move tool and align the text where you want. Make this value -750. Click Toggle Position and move 10 frames forward. Now make this value 960. Now click on Project Window and import slide sound effect given in the description. Now drag it to the start of the timeline where the positioning keyframes were added. Now this is the animation. Let's create a pop-up option box. Now move the frame to 1 second. Click Rectangle tool and make a rectangle for box. And make its corner round as this. Now click Rectangle layer and click Effect Controls. Expand Shape Controls and click on Fill. Now make its color white. Now scroll down and drop shadow. Now scroll up and start toggle scale. And make its value 0 at 1 second and 0 frames. Now move 10 frames forward and make its value 110 scale. Now move 10 more frames to forward and make scale value 100. Now click on Anchor Point and drag this anchor point to the center of the rectangle. Then scroll down and click again on Anchor Point and make sure that anchor point is in the middle. Drag the anchor point to mid. Now pop-up is ready. Click on Project Window and import sound for pop-up. Drag sound and adjust in the timeline. Now pop-up is ready. Now we have to create copies of the animated option box. So let's do it. Move to 1 second in the frame timeline. Now click Rectangle layer and move 15 frame forward by pressing Shift plus forward arrow. Now make a copy of the rectangle layer by pressing Alt and dragging layer on the top of the first layer. Now select upper layer and make its copy, but move 15 frames forward first. Now again, move 15 frames forward and make another copy and drag on the top of all layer. Now rename all option rectangle. Now move to 5 seconds. Now select option B rectangle and click Effect Controls. Now change this value to 1460. Select layer C. Change this value to 750. Select layer D. Change this value to 750. Change this value to 1460. Now it is the animation. Now import a sound effect named as pop-up sound and arrange it, and in the start of all option boxes layers. It is the created animation. Now we have to animate the timer. Go to 3 seconds. Then import timer lane and timer object. Make the timeline small. Drag the timer lane on top and expand it to the end. Then drag timer object on timer lane and also expand it. Now select timer lane and object and then right-click. Click on Nest and name as timer. Click timer layer and then effect controls. Make this value 1140 and then start toggle animation. Move 10 frames forward by pressing Ctrl plus forward arrow and then make its value 960. Then double-click on the nested layer and make it small using mouse. Then click on the timer object and then effect controls. Start toggle and move 5 seconds forward. Make its value 1300. Now click on sequence 04. Now import a sound effect and adjust in the timeline. And here are the results. Now how the answer box color change. First add text to the option boxes. Click text tool and then select the layer at which you want to add text and then write a text in that box. Then use move tool and align the text to center. Repeat the process for all layers. Now, option B is the correct answer. So move the frame cursor at the start of layer B, and then click on Appearance toggle in the Shape controls. And then move to the frames where the time's out, and then click Fill and change the color to black. That's how it looks. How can you create multiple quiz? Go to 10 seconds. Select all and press Ctrl plus K to cut. Delete all layers of the right side. Copy all layers and paste just there next. Now click on the text layer and then write another quiz. Now, option D is the correct answer. So select layer D and open Shape controls and start toggle and move to the frame where the time's up and there. Change the color to black. And now we have to remove the color animation from layer B. Click B and delete the keyframe animation at the last. Like the video, press the subscribe button and hit the bell icon.